What's going on, Consciouztv? Your favorite breakdown commentator, CTV. Welcome to another riveting episode of the Consciouztv platform. You already know what we're here to get into. Before we do so, please go ahead and run those likes up. We need all the likes on the video. You guys know that thumbing up the video not only helps with YouTube's algorithm, but more importantly, it triggers up YouTube's notification system. So when you are thumbing up the video, you are literally knocking on the digital door of another Conscious crew member and telling them to get their black asses into the sanctuary. Also, if you enjoy everything that the King does here, you can always donate to the platform. Cash App, $Consciouztv, and or paypal.me/Consciouztv. And that's Conscious with the Z on the end. All donation information and social media handles are in the description box below. Last but not least, please share the stream out to wherever it is you have digital community, whether that be a YouTube community wall, your Snapchat, your MySpace, the dark side of Twitter, Tumblr, or your personal OF. I don't really give a damn where you in that lid. The link, just let them whores know that we're loud, we're live, and we're certainly in color. And with no further ado, let's go ahead and push on through.
I know a place where you can recharge your soul.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
And in the midst of brokenness, he gon' see your asshole.
Baby, that's Consciouztv.
You gon' heal, you gon' laugh and catch a little shade.
Ooh, girl.
Y'all know he be slaying, y'all better stop playing. Come hear what he's saying.
Ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on, Conscious crew? Happy Thursday. Let me speak to everybody in the building. What is going on, Linnell? Hey, Lenora. What's going on, Camila? Hey, Kimani's Way. Hey, Sherry, Karen. What's going on? It's Gotta Be Destiny. Hey, Ian Gardner. What's going on, Luna Brooke? Hey, Jody's Corner. Jody, are you joining us tonight? I just text you. Are you hitting the link? Because if you are, I can go ahead and drop the link for you. What's going on, Lauren? Hey, Apple. Hey, Teresa. What's going on, Sin? Hey, Ken Goddess. What's going on, Sandra, Courtney? What's going on, Danielle? Hey, Ari. Hey, y'all. So I have a special guest. Of course, you guys know who the hell he is. Hi, Bubs.
Yo. What's going on, everybody? Hello, Conscious crew. What's going on, Kang? How are you doing?
I've been doing great all day up until this very moment. There is just something about the ratchetness and the stankness of this topic that just turns me off. And I honestly am just so over this conversation that I feel like I can hardly ever really just have the conversation unless it's just with someone who I know enjoys triggering up homophobes and transphobes, such as yourself. So, I just whenever I speak on these things, I just pass the torch down to the king of homosexuals and allow you to do all of the Lord's work. Okay, but how are you feeling today?
I am okay. I can share your sentiments on this topic. It's too much in the world, too much information, too much advancement for us to still be stuck in the same fucking place. It makes no sense, but since people want to play stupid, I'm here to play stupid with some people. No shade. No shade, because this is where we are now. CT over it. I'm kind of into it. So at this fucking point, I don't want it to just be an echo chamber, because one thing that I do appreciate about this platform is that despite the bullshit, you know how to break shit down. You break shit down for those who want to understand. But for those who are choosing to be willfully ignorant going forward, these hoes get nothing but the smoke. No shade. We are too deep off in this shit right now, girl. There are some people that we cannot afford to play nice with. No shade. None.
It's a very important topic, but considering the fact that we don't even have time to be specializing in secondary, thirdary issues when we literally have an entire coup and an entire domestic, terroristic, genocidal, homicidal, white patriarchal, capitalistic regime as a presidential administration. What the sissies are doing falls way down there in the shit somewhere. I feel like there's like a lot of action happening to the front of the junk drawer, but we got our hands to the back of that mother, like filling around for like plastic spoons when we have like spikes and rats and poison sitting to the front of the junk drawer that is not getting any attention as we just reach, way back there for the bullshit of it all. And this makes me really afraid for what the end of this thing is going to look like, because as of right now, it does not appear to me that we have our priorities in order. It's clear to me that we're still collectively not understanding the goddamn assignment. It's very clear to me if we are mismanaging priorities, then that means we absolutely are in the wrong direction in this rat race to power. And that leaves me with the disappointing stench of right now admitting that Satan, is a few miles out from us. And we got some major catching up to do if we're still on gaze.
No shade.
If we're still on gaze.
No shade.
If we're still on gaze, baby. The enemy is miles out toward the promised land that's about to be conquered before we even get a chance to put our asses in the water. So pretty disappointing, pretty disheartening, but let's go ahead and crack into the foolishness of it all.
Lord.
As you guys see from the title, at some point over the weekend, y'all favorite two-strand twists, Press On L wearing gangster rapper, and master of all things THC and CBD and ECE and cannabis, Snoop Dogg decided that he had, some things that he needed to get off his chest as it related to two fictional LGBT characters that appeared in a Pixar movie that came out this year called Lightyear. Okay, let's listen to what Snoop Dogg had to motherfucking say. Honey, let's do it. Oh, yes, let's do it.
Murder was the case that they gave me.
Check this out, child.
What was the movie with
the new Buzz, the Lightyear. I think it's called Lightyear.
Yeah, Keke Palmer's in that movie.
Okay.
She plays like the daughter. So we watching it, and the lady, which is Keke's mama, they move on into the space years. They move down the line. They're like, man, she had a baby with a woman. Well, my grandson in the middle of the movie, like, Papa Snoop, how she have a baby with a woman? She a woman. Oh shit. I didn't come in for this shit. I just came to watch the goddamn movie. Hey, man, watch the movie. They just said she had a baby. They both women's. How did she have a baby? Movie ain't over with. So it's like, it fucked me. I'm scared to go to the movies now. Like, y'all throwing me in the middle of shit that I don't have an answer for.
What'd you tell them?
Watch the movie. Eat your popcorn.
You said, we don't know. We don't know.
It threw me for a loop. I'm like, what part of the movie was this? These are kids that we have to show that at this age. Like,
that part.
They're going to ask questions.
Yeah.
They are going to ask.
And if you guys don't know, yes, the Disney Pixar movie Lightyear features a lesbian couple, Alicia and her wife, who are seen in a meaningful relationship and shares a same-sex kiss that made headlines for being Disney's first. The character of Alicia Artheron is a close friend and mentor of Buzz Lightyear, and the film depicts her entire adult life, including her marriage and family with her wife. The inclusion of the same-sex relationship was a significant step for Pixar and led to controversy, including bans in some countries and discussions about LGBTQ plus representation. Bubs.
Yes.
Take it away, my darling.
This is very interesting because I had a conversation with someone who also is a part of the queer community that's within my inner circle, who happens to have different viewpoints, shall I say. And we were talking about it. And yes, at face value, there are some people who are just saying, oh, well, he's just sharing his opinion. The queer community always doing so much. Y'all always reading into shit. Well, like CTV said multiple times, if it was just an opinion and then he learned from the situation and figured out what really was going on, then that would be different. But for somebody to have an opinion, it don't just stay at an opinion. It then tries to manifest into some sort of ignorant ass fact. Because what's happening now, as you can see, is that whenever there is queer representation, especially when it's involving those that are youth, as if though y'all did not grow up with queer youth or queer adults around you, that every time we're talking about something that advances us, that breaks the generational chain, a generational curse that we continue to play into, there's always a problem in the issue. Now, here's the further issue with Snoop Dogg, as far as him saying that. He could have just simply said, you know, oh, they adopted a child. That's it. Move on. Y'all say children ask questions and they forget about it. Answer the question. Nobody has the problem explaining Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy,
or
the concept of death to children,
or why I'm divorcing your mammy, or the fact that I don't know who the fuck your father is. We have no problem explaining to children. Or why are you calling your grandma Ma? Why she's doing my job? Continue on, Bubs.
And not only that, it's okay for Barney to come read to the children. It's okay for Clifford, the big red dog, to come read to the children. It's okay for Tatiana, Belle, all the Disney princess to come read to your children. But as soon as there is something from the queer culture that people do not understand and only have a very small perspective on it, a very narrow perspective on it, now it's a problem and an issue. But then when you have queer people like me who end up saying, well, hey, I'm cool with that if we're going to do it across the board, which means that y'all going to have to sanitize all movies. That means The Lion King can't be no Simba and Nala. Because it's not a problem to explain how a male and female can make a baby. And that being the only thing, even when animals do it. Even in the form of Beauty and the Beast, when there was some bestiality stuff going on. And we have all this information. And he said, I'm speaking on things that I don't even know. Well, that's very interesting, Snoop Dogg, because no shade, for a small period of time, you ended up doing your own independent adult entertainment with a bunch of women doing all type of shit that Keke Palmer's and her partners in the movie was doing. Even though they can't make no baby, you're thinking about that. Your rap lyrics sit up here and demean and degrade women. And then on top of that, you also was on an episode of The L Word. All that time being pro-gay, especially when Obama was in office, you was pro-gay. But see, now that this administration came through, what I'm really seeing is that there are some people, when they say tolerate, that's what they mean. They're going to tolerate until the atmosphere change and they really show us how they really feel. And for me, and especially CTV's point, it gets to a point to where when you start becoming aware of stuff, you start seeing a pattern to where you really be over the shit. Why do we have to keep talking about this? Why do we have to keep speaking about this? It is not that difficult, and it is not that fucking hard. These are the same people who sit up here and have no problem explaining to their black children on how to survive the fucking encounter with police, but y'all not trying to make that change.
How do you explain that we don't have any food in the refrigerator tonight, or y'all have no problem explaining why the lights and electricity are off, or why we've gone 3 days without running water in the house, or your new stepmom or your new stepdad? I mean,
or the new stepdad today.
I think my issue with this whole what do I tell the children is it is an obvious cop-out for the adults to hide their actual queer phobia behind by putting the children in front of this as an excuse for what you ultimately just don't want to see, and what you don't want your children to aspire to, and what you don't want to have to fake pretend to be okay with, because explaining it implies that you're okay with it when you're actually transphobic and homophobic and queer phobia. That's going to trigger you and bother you because you in fact don't stand for, believe in, nor accept queerness and queer people. And I just never knew this many grown-ass people were pussies. Like, it really almost makes me respect the flat-out explicit queer folks who can just say it proud with their chest. Fuck you, niggas. You freaks. I actually can respect that. I can respect the people that can say it with their chest, who can hurl that F word with the force of Thor, baby, across the way, rather than these coochie ass, soft, meek ass homophobes and transphobes who like to pander or pretend to be neutral to your point until the right circumstances, until the stars align, until there is a proper mascot for their hatred and disdain and their othering. And then they jump that magnificent Amistad ship onto queer phobic boulevard.
And then also,
when have we became such cowards as people? This is not about your inability to explain a queer relationship or queer people to young people, to Bub's point, who are old enough to understand Peter Pan, who are old enough to understand SpongeBob, who are old enough to understand the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy and divorce and poverty and brokenness and every damn thing else that they're exposed to. This is obviously not about that. And if it genuinely is, this is less about queer people and more about your incompetence as a grown, educated adult who cannot speak in children's language to describe simply that other people sometimes fall in love with members of the same sex, and that children come into this world in different ways. Sometimes all children are brought about mostly through mama's stomach. Now, there are various ways that a baby can manifest in mommy's stomach, son, a daughter, due to doctors. We have special abilities now. We have special technologies, like your computer, or, the artificial intelligence, or, these mechanical things in our world can now perform special feats that allow members of the same gender or of the same sex to be able to procreate. Some people choose to adopt. Like, this is not some rocket. This is not some rocket science, trigonomic ass conversation. It's literally not. Even if you have to lie to them, the way that you're lying to them about Santa Claus and Rudolph and the Easter Bunny, and say, look, what's them birds called? Are there stoics? What are those birds that drop off the babies in the cartoons?
I have no idea.
Oh, God. Somebody smart.
Yes, come on, see, a conscious crew.
What are the birds? What are the birds that drop off the children in the cartoons? What's the name of those birds?
Oh, storks.
Storks.
Duh, I'm sorry. I had a blind moment.
Somebody said stroke. Storks. Just tell them, baby, the storks deliver babies to all couples, whether those 2 women, 2 men, or a man and a woman. Literally, we're doing it right now. We are having a child-proof conversation about how babies manifest between 2 members of the same gender. You don't even have to say the same sex, the same gender. You see how convenient that word gender is?
But do you see how you're explaining that, and then it's like in the movie, because we saw the clip, it was literally them walking in, they kissed each other, and they had the baby there. They making it seem like they opened up the door and it was a sex dungeon and the baby is strapped up to some shit and they just, oh, come close the door. Like what the fuck is going on? But see, again, to your point, it's the adults, because the children don't even fucking know all that shit. It's y'all in y'all head. Y'all sexualize it, but at the same time, no shade, we've all been hypersexualized in this country. Every single one of us has. We all some freaky ass bitches, bitch. I don't give a fuck. The religious hoes is just the ones that are doing it in the closet. They mad at the ones doing it in the open, girl. But at the end of the day, we are all have some sort of level of freaktivity in us. And if you say no, you's lying. Okay? But there is a way to have conversations that are basic before you even go into that. Because again, like, there will be children, there will be parents that would buy they baby onesies and shit that says future heartbreaker like granddaddy, ladies man, all this type of shit. Like, that's not a problem with that. I saw a clip of a father and his son watching some sort of Fast and Furious movie, and it was just nothing but just titties and cars and engines and titties, and the child was just looking like, oh, and the caption says, whew, I know my son gonna be all right. So again, it's like, and that's the thing, like, if y'all want to play this game, we can play this game, but then when we play this game with y'all, now we have to be respectful. Now we have to watch our tone. Hold up. And especially when I hear black people doing this shit, that's why I really go in, because it's like, if black people should understand what the fuck it feels like to be at the bottom of the fucking barrel, bitch, it should be us. But instead of trying to lift each other up, the only way to look down is to lift each other up. Blame it on the dress, the manufacturing of black homophobia and performative masculinity, bitch. We're taught to punch down. We're a scapegoat. We're the scapegoat. We have been the scapegoat. Black people, we've been the scapegoat. Queer people, we've been the scapegoat. Black and queer, bitch, we double scape, both-handed. That's the problem and the issue. And at this point, it's not that people don't know or there's not information out there. Motherfuckers just don't want to know. And if you don't want to know, okay. Then don't feel no type of way when someone don't want to know your shit. Point blank in the fuck period. The shit is getting dangerous. And y'all gonna roll up on the wrong person. No shade. And y'all could be teaching y'all children how to not other people and respect people, because no shade, it's y'all children's schools that's getting shot up. So if the parents don't rectify the shit, your children will pay for it. How about that? Isn't that something biblical, if I'm not mistaken, as well? So maybe people want to take their own advice and actually cut the shit off. But see, and lastly, before I land my plane, conscious, and for people like us who are open and who we are, the people who are talking all this shit are the same people we fucking grew up with. We grew up with these niggas. These are the same niggas who had the same thing their parents told them, and we experienced it. And now they're adults, and they're projecting it again. We in the age of Aquarius, baby. You can play these whole stroll games if you want to. And that goes for all of us, me included. Which is why I treat people with respect. I actually judge people by the content of their character. I'm not going to be no lazy ass drive-through Lawn Street piss po ass type of thinking just because it's convenient. Well, look at what convenience has gotten us. No shade.
2 points here.
Go ahead.
What's interesting to me is that if you have a problem explaining how children come into the world between 2 couples of the same gender, then it means that you actually don't have a problem explaining the graphic way children come into the world through opposite sex couples. I would actually find that it should actually be more comprehensible to explain children coming into the world between two members of the same gender versus attempting to explain how a child got here between a man and a woman, baby, because you really about to go down a rabbit hole with that particular discussion. Secondly, I'm a little concerned about the intellectual capacity of the people who claim that they have no idea how to really have this conversation with the young people in their life, because if you can't even explain same gender love, and you can't even explain same gender loving or young people who have parents of the same sex or the same gender, that means you also can't explain handicapped children to other children. How do you explain special needs people to these same young people? How do you explain the amputated and the autistic to young people as well? How do you explain different cultures and young people who have different ethnical features? Because there's a lot of people that have to be explained aside from queer people. And I'm not hearing an outrage on having to explain to your Black child, a Chinese child, a Latino child, a pure African child, a disabled child, a mentally ill child, an albino child. I'm not hearing no congressional hearing. I'm not hearing people in the droves on podcasts and in front of the State House talking about the difficulty of explaining a diverse and unique world to young people. There's only a specific issue, difficulty, and pushback to explaining same gender loving people.
Fascinating. I would just love to be proven wrong about all this. I say this all the time. I would just love to be just the one to be like, hey, Bubs, you the one tripping, bro. You tripping. And it's proven. And I'm like, oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. Because I say all the time, bitch, you can prove me wrong about this whole queer thing that y'all talking about. Bitch, I will remove all my videos and read Bible verses every day. Bitch. No shade. But I know this from experience. And because I'm taking the time out, to educate myself about my history, there's a lot of things that I'm still now learning about Blackness and queerness. And guess what? This administration literally is not wants to, it is erasing it. That's why they want us again to be divided. But at the same time, just because we going through hell and high water don't mean that the universe ain't gonna come through and bring forth that karma too, because maybe that's the only time for a bitch to learn, when there ain't no other way. You have queer people like me, Consciouztv, and others who have survived the onslaught that these children in this generation is going to unfortunately deal with, as we can see, who have not only just survived, but throughout our lives and even still now and forever, how long we're here, continuing to heal those aspects so that we can live the best abundant life possible. We are the ones that had to push ourselves. And I wish I had representation as a child. I grew up in the 90s before all this social media bullshit. And it's the same fucking talking points. But then the problem is that when there are people who are just reciting and regurgitating bullshit without doing their research, and they come across a Bubs the God or a CTV or a Reckless Logic, or come across a T for T or a Queen Stevie or a Deshaun or a T.S. Madison or a Hope Giselle or somebody like that, or a Consciouztv, instead of saying, you know what, my apologies, I'm sorry, I was ignorant, can you please educate me on what's going on? But that would be in a perfect world. No, people want to double down in their ignorance as if though you ain't say the dumb shit. We survived the Pennywise clown as children, and now it's trying to come back as an adult. Fuck that shit. This the black version. You know the black version ain't gonna be that damn long. No shade. But this is what it is. And then on top of that, since Snoop Dogg said this, and he is a public figure, which means that unfortunately, whatever you put out, people gonna listen and report on it. That's the point of keeping the chaos and all this shit going. But at the same time, it does open up doors for deeper conversations for those who want it. Because now, like I said again, we have the information. We are, even though the devil is ahead, that nigga only ahead because he clever. He ain't smart. We're smart. If we can get our shit together, we'll be farther ahead than the devil. But we're going to have to unlearn some things. But the system has a failsafe, and it's going to protect itself by all means, even if that means destroying itself, which means all of us. Snoop Dogg, pimping, nigga. You could have just simply said, again, they adopted the baby. That's it. And now that you said this publicly, don't be mad when people try to educate you. And now we're going to see who wants to be educated, who doesn't. But thanks to some of y'all president, bitch, we get to really see y'all for who y'all really is. And I want y'all to understand that it's being documented and cemented into the interwebs forever, which means that when that generation does come, since our generation, the other generations, are the ones who put it on the other generation to do it, and then fuck them up from the start, when they finally get it right and look back, they gonna see who was connected and aligned and who wasn't. And baby, a lot of motherfuckers gonna realize what side of the fence they really were on.
Well, speaking of educated, we're going to play T.S. Madison's response to said situation. But before I do so, I'm going to say that I've been gay my whole life. And my whole life, I'm talking about like I can remember as far as preschool being same-sex attracted. Of course, that wasn't manifested in a sexual way, but there was a particular like magnetism that I experienced between me and other males that just was not there when it came to females. I can explain that magnetism, but it first manifested as a distinct vibe between me and males that just wasn't there. And then as I got older and learned sexuality intellectually and the labels and all that, like, oh, this is that magnetism. And then when puberty hit, that magnetism turned into erection for other males. And with me being a eunuch, a two-spirited individual, homosexual since I was a kid, you know, I had a younger brother, and my mother and father never had to sit down, my younger brother, and explain to him not to be like me. Nor did they even have to explain me to him. No explanation was needed. The truth don't need no understanding, baby. It was what it was. And despite my brother not having me explain to him by my parents, he maintained his heterosexuality, and he went to be in a lot more pussy than the one he came out of. So this like over exaggeration that there even needs to be an explanation when there really don't, because the reality is what you don't teach other people to prioritize doesn't even become a point of interest for them to begin with. Most people wouldn't give a fuck about homosexual people, lesbian people, trans people, non-binary people if the culture did not master and specialize in ruminating over the fucking issue and ruminating over the subject matter and politicizing the subject matter and religiousizing the subject matter and da 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 da. Also, speaking of children, and thank you, baby mother, for the nasty piece of child support check. My baby mother care goddess, baby, slaying down to the child support office. Thank you, baby mother. Appreciate you and respect you. Appreciate and respect you even more, baby mother. Thank you so much, you guys. Me and Bubs, the cash apps are on the screen, you guys. Shout out to my baby mother, Ken. Love you down, honey. See, now I'm finna get into my bag for real. I know how I get, child.
Smile on my face.
I know how I get, child. But speaking of those children and being young, let's talk about it. Guess what? We also going to dispel another myth about being exposed to queerness. This is an AI write-up on children with same-gender loving parents. No, gay parents do not make gay kids. Children's sexual orientation is not determined by their parents' sexual orientation. Research shows that children raised by same-sex parents develop similarly to those raised by heterosexual parents in emotional, social, and cognitive aspects, and they are not more likely to be gay just because they have two gay-ass parents. A child's sexual orientation is believed to be an inherent issue, biological, for those of you who need another alternative word aside from inherent, influenced by a combination of factors such as genetics, hormones, and neurology. Okay, another word for natural. Orientation is a natural phenomenon, a biological phenomenon. Okay, not an environmental one. What the research says is that no effect on sexual orientation. Scientific literature, the place y'all like to go when y'all are explaining genitals to trans men and women, the same place y'all like to go when y'all are explaining Adam and Eve to same gender loving people.
Mine is Steve.
Male and female, see, this is y'all bag, okay? The scientific bag, right? Scientific literature, including comprehensive reviews, studies, has consistently found zero evidence that a child's sexual orientation is influenced by having gay or lesbian parents. Similar development outcomes. Studies indicate that children raised by same-sex parents show similar levels of emotional, social, and cognitive development compared to those raised by heterosexual parents. Sexual orientation is a complex trait with no single determinant, but evidence points to genetic, neurological, and possibly environmental and or hormonal factors. Okay, and let's talk about this environmental piece. You know what you can't influence? You can't influence me to be gay or straight, because if that was the case, me and Bubs would be some of the most heterosexual men walking around the planet. We both had two parents of the opposite sex in our lives. We both were raised in an era that was pre-social media, where there was nothing but heterosexual representation. We had grandparents, male and female, uncles, aunts, and aunts. We saw heterosexual representation in every single place, in every single movie, in every single show, sitcom on television for decades growing up. So this idea that sexuality can be curated and it can be
No, you miss a few points because they're gonna probably say other shit or whatever. We've never been actually touched or abused.
I didn't even have to say that, because literally the research debunks all of that. That this is not.
I know, but I'm talking about for the idiots who are going to. This is for the idiots who are going to say it twice, and I just want to let them know that again, even if you do use that, because that was used against me ignorantly in a conversation before that nobody knew about, and then when I told them my truth, they said, oh, and maybe not you, but the majority. How do you know? You don't even know these damn people to be making that fucking assumption. So yes, that never happened either. So what is it gonna be now? A demon or something? My mama was a hoe or something and was fucking with a DL nigga, and he done gave a DL spirit to me or something. What? And if that's the case, prove it. Prove it. Prove the hit, because I'm tired of hoes talking shit and not pulling up the facts. I'm tired of hoes talking. Go ahead.
Let's pause there. So let's just run with that argument super quick. If you believe that lesbianism, non-binariness, transgenderism, sexual fluidity, gender fluidity, all of this stuff is a mental illness and or it's demonic, then why do y'all assign y'all's abuse to the people instead of the spirit and or the condition?
And then on top of that,
if y'all believe that homosexuality is of mental illness and or of hell or of Satan, then why do y'all beat up on the people rather than the spirit Why do y'all beat up on the condition? For those of you who believe that it's a condition, why do y'all make the exception to taunt, harass, bully, and oppress queer people who are mentally ill when you don't take that behavior upon any other mentally ill American to begin with? So even if you wanted to have a different attitude aside from science, if you want to have a different attitude and a different perspective aside from what the research shows and bears, we still get into an issue of what justifies the malicious, emotional, mental, and physical violence perpetuated against members of the LGBT community. Because essentially all you're arguing is that it's not queer people's fault, but yet y'all blame queer people for 100% of their issues, even if you're saying that it's demonic, even if you're saying that it's a mental illness. And that makes no logical sense, considering that y'all aren't berating, witch hunting any other person who has a spiritual sickness and or a mental illness in this country that way. But going back to what I was initially saying, which I've almost forgotten what I was saying before Bubs made his point. Where was I in the discussion? Because I was going somewhere in what I was saying. Children, science, we would be heterosexuals if that were the case. Inherit, biological. God damn, I don't even know where I was going. Hopefully it'll come back to me.
You was talking about how all the stereotypes that they would throw onto us, we do not fit them.
What stereotypes?
As far as, like you said, is you probably grew up in a house without two parents. We grew up in a house with two parents of opposite sex. You know what I'm saying? Like all of the things.
I said all that, but I was going somewhere, but I forgot where I was going.
Right. I was saying that was the route you was going down.
Yeah. I just recalled the route. I don't know where it was taking me. I was going somewhere initially, but I forgot where the hell I was going, taking that route to my destination. And it was somewhere good too. Spirit might bring it back to me. So that's what the research shows nonetheless. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Where I was going was the environmental factor. The environmental factor around sexual orientation is this: you cannot create a person's orientation, but you can inform it, right? Such as, like, you can't create a heterosexual person, but what you can do is influence their preference as a heterosexual person. That preference may be determined by who they're mostly exposed to, which is why most people date within their race, because most people live within bundles of other tribe members. So you become socialized to be attracted to other Black people if you're Black. You become attracted to other white people if you're white. Even if you're gay, if you're gay and white, you're going to mostly be attracted to other gay white people or other Black gay people if you're Black. So you can inform a person's sexual preference, but you can't inform their sexual orientation. Class, do y'all understand that? You can influence the sexual preference, but you cannot influence the sexual orientation. You can't change that. You can't destroy that. You can't create that. But what you can create is their preference. Oh, be attracted to a well-muscled person. Be attracted to a morbidly obese person. Be attracted to, etc., 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 a light-skinned person, a dark-skinned person, but you cannot control or create the gender and or sex a person is attracted to. You can, however, influence sexual preference. Conscious, you should look up Pastor Gino. I know who the fuck he is. And his sermons on homosexuality. You'll have a feel that I know who the fuck he is. I mean, he's no different than any other rambunctious, loudmouth, bombastic homophobe with a fucking Bible in his hand as a goddamn grift, because these pastors, pastorettes, prophets, prophetess, deacons, and deaconess have no other significance and no other fucking talent to offer community aside for pretending and cosplaying as women and men of God.
A T-move version of Steve Harvey.
I'm no more entertained or bent out of shape because of his loud ass mouth compared to Dr. Umar's loud ass mouth, or Young Pharaoh's loud ass mouth, or Kim Burrell's double chin loud ass motherfucking mouth. I mean, you've seen one fucking homophobe, you've seen the fucking same, and none of it is fucking cute because at the end of the day, y'all perpetuating this shit got motherfuckers really out here hurting and harming and killing themselves. And it's not a fucking joke. And it's not a fucking field. And I don't think it's a goddamn gag. You have 9-year-old LGBT people being found by their parents hung in their closets. You have LGBT people addicted to all type of fucking narcotics and fucking drugs in order to cope with cultural and social rejection. There's so much blood on the society's hands that is unaccounted for. Whether it's what's been done to women, whether it's what's been done to Black people, whether what's been done to queer people, there's so much unaccounted injustice in this land. And the fact that we are where we are right now, it's making me really feel like America is really living out a curse. This land is cursed because of its own saturated hatred for other people. And now that hatred has culminated and is coming to claim the heads of all the hens who thought that they were going to be an exception. That hatred now has created a poison that everybody is going to need a vaccine for now. All the people who thought they were privileged enough to other people are now the others on the ballot as well. Now, T.S. Madison entered the group chat. Hey, Style by Stevie. Hey, Deshaun. If any of y'all want to hit the link, I think that Bub sent it to the group. I
sent it to
chat.
y'all. So
y'all are more than welcome to come up. I would love for y'all to come up if y'all want to come up and sound off.
So Deshaun can scream too. So I seem like I'm the only. I was playing. This is passion, y'all. This is passion. This is passion.
Our T.S. Madison also spoke out about Snoop Dogg's sentiments, and this is what she had to say, courtesy of TMZ. We're going to do audio only because I heard TMZ gets real frisky. But this is
bitch, how y'all gonna be in everybody motherfucking business, but then when can't use the shit girl to talk about the business?
I mean, I've never had no issues, but I've heard, and I'm just not gonna take no issue. I ain't gonna take no chance. So let me know if you guys can hear if you guys can hear the interview. Give me a 1 in the chat. I'm finna press play now. Give me a 1 if you guys can hear it.
What say you about this?
Well, I have questions, and I wrote a few of them down. Snoop Dogg has historically been an advocate against censoring, and his fame is based off expression. So my question is, Snoop, you have music videos with women dancing and kissing other women, dancing naked. So why is displaying lesbian behavior in your music videos appropriate, and you are afraid to answer the questions from your grandchildren?
So wait a minute. There's an answer to that, which is that the videos that he does for his music videos for adults, they're not Lightyear.
I think he would say that
they're not for kids.
Music videos aren't for kids.
I know that would be the setting, and that would be the end. But as a person who understands how kids work, kids see everything. Kids see everything. They see music videos. They hear lyrics. They hear these things.
But TS, that's where parenting comes in, right? I mean, you're right. Kids, if you just let them, they can see everything. But
I'm glad you said that's where parenting comes in, because as a parent, you should also explain to your children that other things exist in the world outside of what you have deemed normal in your own home.
Let me ask you something, because I'm gay, and I get the points you're making. But at the same time, maybe at a certain age, you do bring things up, but at ages that are earlier than that, kids that are younger, a parent can say, I'm not ready to talk to them about it yet. I mean, that doesn't make them homophobic if they say, I don't want to talk to them about all this until a certain age.
It's rooted in a bit of homophobia.
Is it? Is it though?
A little bit. It is rooted because
It can be. It certainly can be. But I
it's
don't know if it
rooted
is in
in it.
Snoop's case. But
you also you're never afraid to talk to your kids about having a little boyfriend or a little girlfriend at a certain age. I know that we've been conditioned to be able to like understand heteronormative activity. We've been conditioned to that because that's all we see, because we've always, as queer people, been pushed to the side and swept under. So it is time for us to have these uncomfortable conversations. Maybe not at 4. Maybe Papa will explain that to you in a year or so. Just watch the movie.
I gotta say, I've been around a long time, and for a long time, I have not felt pushed to the side and pushed away. And I hear people talking about that, but that's not society today, and it's not society even.
Oh, I don't think that.
Well, Harvey, I love you.
Harvey.
I love you, but you're a white man, and you also are a white gay
Trust
man.
me, I was around when bars were raided, when people were fired from their jobs during the
Nobody's
AIDS
saying
epidemic.
it's not better.
So I know what discrimination is more than just about anybody.
Yeah, but it's still it comes from a different lens when you're talking about like more marginal, like, and I don't want to lean heavy into it to, because it's not your fault that you're white, but you're a white man. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about, especially in this time right now, like trans people are extremely under attack.
That's true.
Queer people are under attack, and like they made us public enemy number 1. And we're just existing. We're not even a large percent of the population, and they're making it seem like that our existence is forcing everybody else out. I get tired of people of color, and it's particularly Black men that are voicing these things and are a part of the problem. And I think that what tends to happen is that we all forget, what hand that we play in. The hand we play and stuff.
Oh, there was a lot there. I got my girl Stevie and Deshaun in the background. I want to also say somebody asked me in the chat, what do I think about a pale as gay Harvey leaning more towards Snoop Dogg? Yeah, he's correct. Snoop Dogg's content is tailored toward children. This Lightyear movie, is tailored toward adults. This Lightyear movie is tailored toward children. The beautiful thing about children's material is that children's material has always been used to teach children about the fucking world. Children's content has been used historically to teach children about worldly things, adult things, whether that be other races, other cultures, etc. In this case, now queer people. And if you're telling me that a same gender loving couple being represented as a couple, not these young ladies being represented as P-Valley strippers, not them munching on each other's carpet in the movie, but simply being parents and being fixed characters in a children's movie, being appropriate the same way that real life queer adult parents are actually appropriate in real life, the way that those queer parents show up appropriately to PTA meetings, are appropriate neighbors, are appropriate co-workers, are appropriate. If you're trying to equate that to some type of pornographic, absurd concept that should be outside of the range of children, then my fear is that you've brought children into the wrong world. My fear, my loves. And now I actually have to blame the adults who bring forth children into a world that they can't explain to anybody else but adults. So maybe y'all should wait on the technology that allows y'all to have 21-year-old children rather than 1-month-old children and 1-day-old children. Maybe y'all should wait until Elon Musk builds the Tesla X800 and produces the robotic semen that allows you to have a fully evolved adult child born unto you, rather than an adolescent, since apparently the world is inexplainable to young people. But, you know, I was a young people at one point in time. Children's content explained the vast world I lived in a kid-friendly way.
Shout out PBS.
The Reading Rainbow, the Magic School Bus. Shout out to all of the children's content. The libraries are filled with children's content that talks and speaks about various subjects and genres in a child-friendly way. I mean, if you just want to be a homophobe, just say it. Just say it. It is that easy. It's that easy. If you want to be a transphobe, a homophobic, just say that. Just say it, baby. That's such a much more, it's still a flat, ridiculous, hellbound position to take, but at least you're not being pussy and trying to falsely weaponize children as an excuse to why you don't want to push the needle. And like I said earlier in the beginning, this is not about people's incompetence to explain to children. This is about people not wanting to be affirming of queer people and teaching their children how to be affirming. This is about the willingness to want to double down in transphobia and homophobia and ensure that your children get a fair shot at bullying other individuals in the society, just like you had the privilege of doing. It's about you wanting to pass down the same sins, the same antichrist behavior, the same dehumanizing behavior. It's about you wanting to give your children a fair shot to be a motherfucking bully. That's what this is about. It's about ensuring that your children don't come out and turn out in a way that brings not them, but brings you shame. Because a lot of y'all call yourselves not really minding queer people in the world. You just don't want them as your sons and daughters. You don't mind a gay bestie. You don't mind a gay hairstylist. You don't mind a favorite gay content creator. You don't mind your favorite YouTuber. You don't mind your favorite personality being trans and gay and non-binary. All that's fine. As long as those little freaks don't show up as your sons and daughters, there's not really much of an issue. Well, at least not until we get to those polls, baby. Okay, then y'all don't even take it light on the queer people who y'all are adjacent to and are in community to. But speaking of queer people, let me bring up more affirming queer people who refuse to bow down and kiss the ring. Deshaun and Styles by Stevie. Hi. Hey, everybody. Can y'all hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Welcome. I guess, Deshaun, you are loud and in color. So, what are your thoughts thus far? And we do have some more things to cover in this topic, but so far,
Well,
what are your thoughts?
well, you know, this is all, to me, this is all a distraction really from what's really actually going on behind closed doors, such as, you know, these freaking conservatives that are actually, because the conservatives are actually trying to create a scare to make gay people as the boogeyman. But I keep, you know, if you go on my TikTok, you're going to see all these conservatives that are actually, that was SAing children. Not only that, but there's all different types of colors. I even shared some of that stuff to my boy Tit for Tat and all that other stuff. But when it comes to an openly gay person, they're saying, oh, they're after the children, or drag, they're after the children. All of these people are after the children. Oh, you're influencing children to be gay by putting stuff on freaking cartoons and stuff like that. But cartoons have always had homoeroticism. Even when I was watching cartoons, I noticed that even freaking Buzz Bunny kissing, not Porky the Pig, but Elmer Fudd or something like that, like that or something like that, or one of those cartoons,
Or
and all that stuff. And I seen that, and that's old cartoons.
Or Jessica Rabbit making the other animal's heart beat and levitate off the ground as she comes through in her freakum dress and her form-fitting dress and her cleavage.
That too. It was all nothing but sexual.
Or the extraordinary form of all of the X-Men and female superheroes who are in tight-skinned suits with titties perched and small faces and ass.
Yes. All of it. All of it that make their heart just beat out of, or they just like their mouth starts to drop and stuff, and all of that. It's like everything's all in it, and it's nothing new. They're also talking about there's you know what, in these people, even the gamers are also talking about, there's gay stuff in freaking games, but it started all the way back in 1990. I think it was 1997 or something like that. Why are y'all mad now? And there was also Mass Effect in 2011 where you can choose who you want to sleep with. But the thing is, now you're mad now in this time period, like in 2025. This is just so weird to me. And these are the same people that didn't say nothing from 2011. Now they want to say something now. It's the weirdest shit I've never seen. This is weird. This is absolutely weird. It's absolutely weird. And also, let me tell you something else. These people are so infatuated with homosexuality, they be saying suspect stuff. Now they're wearing skirts. But I thought it was an agenda. Y'all just said it was it was an agenda and all that other stuff. Now they're going back to wearing skirts. There was some straight dude that was wearing a very mini skirt. Yeah, I saw it. They want to talk about the LGBT community, but they're doing LGBT things. They're saying suspect things. They're saying no shade. They're saying clock that T. They're saying that. They got it from the LGBT, unless they got it from one of the girls, got it from the biological women. But the biological women got it from the LGBT by that.
No shade. They had Sanat or whoever. He and his friends was doing their little voguing thing, going down the run, walk down the runway. Here comes the hurricane, bitch. They were doing all of that. So what Deshaun is saying is definitely valid. And the gag is these niggas know it.
There was a light-skinned dude that I forgot his name. He was sitting on the floor with the other dude, and he was on top of the other dude, and he looked like he was out of it or something, and then he rolled off of him. And he don't like gay people. I don't get it.
Well, it's the same thing that the colonizers are doing to everybody's culture. They love the culture but don't love the people. We're seeing the same thing happen now with queerness, where there is a raping of queer culture and a disposability of queer people. It's the same shit happening. Same shit. The colonization of our culture and the erasure of us.
And let me tell you this. All these conservatives talking about the children and talking about, gay people need to be in the closet. These people that are conservative, you already heard that Grindr already broke the mark. You already know that. You already know that. And all of them are conservative. All of them.
This ain't no dick like some shameful dick. Or let these motherfuckers tell it.
They crashed it. Yes. Yes, Gene Herger. Yes. They crashed it.
MLK weekend could never. Memorial Day, Labor Day weekend with the black homosexuals could never break. You ain't never heard about Jacked being broken. Girl, the power of sucking dick in the name of Jesus. It must be some Holy Ghost throat or something. And I just want to say this real quick because I definitely want to get Queen's perspective. But when they talk about what Harvey was saying as far as, oh, you know, with the children and, you know, they shouldn't be seeing all this stuff. Can we admit, we all, especially if you grew up in the 90s, we all have seen BET After Dark. I ain't got no panties on. Ain't got no we saw that.
But let's make the conversation healthier. It would actually be irresponsible of these directors, producers, these authors of children's content to not sprinkle in queer people at a time where queer people have massive visibility, and most young people are in class with another student who either has two moms or two dads. That is a total reality right now that we're living in. So what is the point of pretending that the pink elephant in the room is not pink and not in the room with us at this point? It's irresponsible to pretend as if queer people don't exist at this point. It is irresponsible, ignorant, stupid, divisive, and potentially dangerous for queer people to continue to be othered and shoved on the fucking rug when right now your children are going to school with more LGBT people than ever in American history, and are in school, have best friends, classmates who have same gender loving parents, and or is being taught directly by a queer teacher, have a queer principal, have a queer student guidance counselor. This is actually this is responsible. They're not putting something in this content that is fringe at this point. Queerness is not fringed anymore. It's pretty main fucking strain. Queerness is not, it's not taboo anymore. It's pretty mainstream. So to want to treat people who are outside as if they're still inside is just really irresponsible on those who still want that. And it's sad that the school system and or the culture is doing a better job in this case than the actual parents are wanting to do in terms of actually educate.
Well, it's all because they listen to nothing but negativity about an individual of a person that did something to something, and then they take that, they run with it, and what they do is they just blame a whole group of the LGBT for it. That's what it is. And sometimes what they do is they'll use, like, for instance, if a person is like SAing a child, they'll automatically say it's a gay person, knowing that this person probably got a girlfriend or something and he's just sick in the mind. But women does it too, and everyone else does it too of the opposite sex as well, and nothing gets reported, and they don't have the same outrage and stuff, and it doesn't make any sense. It's like they pick and choose what they want to get outraged for. That's basically what it is. And there's so many reports of children getting SA'd by grown-ups every single day by even straight people and straight men. Women, men are doing it too, basically. It's happening every day. It's happening. I'm hearing stories of it because the thing is that in Connecticut, there was a dude of color that was SAing this kid for about a year. It was a year he did this, for a year. And now he finally got caught. But this was a year he did that to that boy. Oh, also, here's another one. Down in, I believe it was in Alabama somewhere, I don't know where in the South, there was like I think it was like 7 grown people that had children in the storm shelter, doing God knows what to them in a sexual way. It was 2 women and it was 5 men. But you're saying protect the children from LGBT, protect the children from drag queens, protect the children from, but you're not protecting the children from heterosexual weird ass motherfucking freaks too. I'm hearing so many stories. It's growing. Nobody's talking about it. How are you going to protect children? While you pick and choose? Or they just sweep it under the rug and let these children suffer so that they can grow up and be weirdos too. And then you get mad and throw the book at them. I don't know. And the cycle continues.
Speaking of the cycle and continues, T.S. Madison also responded to the backlash after her TMZ interview by saying this here. And on another thing, it's too many black men creating broken families and homes that all of a sudden have high family morals and values when it comes to the topic of the queer community and our visibility, to Deshaun's point. Well, Snoop Dogg also responded to the feedback in your phone, though, Deshaun. I'm gonna mute you for the time being. Snoop Dogg responded to all of the backlash and T.S. Madison and the community and individuals and everybody sounding off, and he said this: "I'm not perfect. I was just caught off guard and had no answer for my grandsons. All my GAY friends know what's up. They've been calling me with love. My bad for not knowing the answer for a 6-year-old. Teach me how to learn. I'm not
Took my grandson to see her.
Now, this is total bullshit, because how the fuck are you going to acknowledge that you have queer people in your orbit, in such intimate orbit with you, that you consider them to be your friends, and yet before Pixar, I had to create a movie called Lightyear and put a lesbian couple in there, you had not exposed yourself to these queer people and had them explain these things to you, or before you got your ass on the internet and on a podcast and said this, you had not come home from that movie and then the next day sat down with your gay friends and had them advise you on the way that you could talk to your nieces and nephews about this concept. See, you just admitted that what you said was bullshit because you took no corrective measure to inform yourself, etc., despite claiming to have queer people in your orbit. And then the first moment you got to really talk about this, you still spoke with ignorance because you had nothing to say even in the aftermath of coming from that movie. Anything productive to say, you're still confused as hell. You still don't know what to say. How can that be possible if you have gay friends? How could you have brought this conversation to a podcaster but not brought this conversation to the gay community you have proximity to? And this is like the scapegoating foolishness that happens if you are a homophobe. Snoop Dogg, say it with your chest, baby. Because, girl, we're seeing through you like a Windex window. Y'all leave so many Blue's Clues that give us way back home to the fuckery and foolishness of this straw house that so many of y'all live within. And all of this simply because y'all just can't admit it. It's crazy. The lengths, if y'all would go the lengths y'all go to hide y'all homophobia, to actually educate y'all kids on homosexuality, we wouldn't even be in this predicament to begin with, baby. The way y'all fucking cart flips and get y'all Sha'Carri Richardson in, girl, and on when it comes to backpedaling and pussy popping instead of just fucking saying it with your chest. That not at 16 or 66 do you want to have to explain gay shit to your children. That at no age, baby. This ain't about an age. This is about y'all's homophobia being interrupted as a generational pathology in the family because y'all live in a society that is attempting to be as affirming as they can regarding queer people. And now y'all are shook because if y'all actually attempt to really pass down the queer phobia to y'all kids, y'all have to be responsible for creating those bullies, which is not going to give y'all any social equity. So now y'all feel like y'all between a rock and a hard place. Because I can't teach these little people under my watch to be hateful without the backlash. But that's what y'all want the privilege of doing. That's what y'all want the privilege of passing down. That's what y'all want the privilege of transferring and teaching and indoctrinating. And so now y'all are secretly mad as hell and tense. And y'all are trying to use the children as a way to acquiesce queer people to soften this shit up. Fall the fuck back. And it's not going to happen. And if you really put some balls on it, go ahead. Raise them to be bullies. You know, every path comes with a price. Let your children pay for it. Let them pay for the sins of their fathers. Let them pay for the sins of their mothers. Stop making this about them, because this is about y'all's environmentally influenced homophobia and transphobia. Let's talk about environmental factors. Homophobia is an environmental factor. Homophobia is a social construct. Homophobia can be influenced. Yeah, all of the Republicans and heterosexual people who tied up in crimes against humanity and crimes against young people, we already know for the most conservative of them, child, that because y'all have to live in the mental and emotional psychological prisons y'all do, y'all don't want freedom for nobody else because, baby, y'all triggered to liberate yourselves when y'all look at the rest of us proud ass queer people. Okay, but there's only one thing that differentiates us and y'all, and it's y'all's refusal to go down the yellow brick road to go visit the Wizard of Oz to get that heart that you need to be an empowered motherfucker. Our freedom triggers you closeted motherfuckers. Girl, we're fighting for you, low key. We're paving the way for you, low key. You don't got to be married to that woman no more, baby. Get you a John instead of a Jennifer. Get you a Michelle instead of a Michael for you closeted women. We're paving the way for you all.
No shade was done in the dark. Do will come to the light. You might as well come to the light, bitch.
Come with me, Peter. Step onto the water.
With that stiff Peter.
Take my hand, Peters. Peters.
Let me grab the other Peter down there. Come on, come.
Not Deshaun giving a slideshow of all of the heterosexual ex-offenders of minors.
That's why I love that Deshaun be doing his one thing that these other people don't do, which is research. Research. Consciously say research over me search. Like, how many times do we have to keep doing this? And no shade, y'all can't get mad. And now when it's time to talk about this, the 1200th time, now the energy is coming from a black mama who told your ass to clean the house, get them dishes, and had that meat on the goddamn countertop by 7 o'clock. So when I get home, I can just put it in the pot and do what I gotta do to get it cooked. And bitch, it's about to be 9 o'clock. and you ain't did shit. Now you mad because now the Joe Jackson shit coming in the house. Now you mad because one number being dialed and all the phones ringing. We're here now, and to CTV's point, we are helping y'all because we have survived the onslaught that some of the privileged people are about to experience now. And if they was really smart, they would talk to people who survived some shit very nicely. Very nicely. And again, black people, ain't that all? Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I just want to know, like, are y'all ready? And this goes to the queer community in the chat because they're really putting us in a time machine. And they're reversing us, girl. We're headed back to the 50s and the 40s and the 30s. Have you guys heard that the Department of Justice is seriously considering gun bans on trans Americans? Style by Stevie. Are you there, my love?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, I'm so glad. I thought she was asleep.
Welcome to
Me
the
too. I thought she fell asleep like.
Welcome to the platform, doll. And you guys make sure to subscribe to my boo on YouTube and on Instagram, Styles by Stevie. Stevie,
amazing.
What in the hell is going the fuck on? The DOJ is considering GUN bans for trans Americans.
Oh my God. I seen this today, and I would love to see them try to take a gun from T.S. Madison because Maddie is strapped, and we know that. Just because of this, what happened in Minnesota, how are LGBT people supposed to defend themselves? But see, this is what Hitler did. I went and I did a little digging and research, and Hitler did the same exact thing, not to just because remember Republicans put out the lie that Democrats coming to take your guns. Well, to the Trump supporters out here, to the voters that voted for Donald Trump, what do you have to say about that now? Because you're thinking that it's the gays, that it's the drag queens, that it is any other marginalized groups. But see, y'all have been so brainwashed to believe everything that this fat orange fuck in the White House says. That's how cults work. And I find it so baffling that y'all are quiet about this because it won't affect me until it affects me, to the voters that voted for Donald Trump. And the DOJ is doing everything he says that he wants to do. Almost 47% of Project 2025 is complete. 47%. There's a tracker out there, so you can go and check out the tracker. And I've checked the tracker, and the tracker says that 47%, 47 of this monstrosity, Project 2025, is just about complete. But it goes a little deeper. So let me see if I can pull that story up, where they were literally saying how Hitler rose to power and took over and crushed the scent of LGBT people. It's in there somewhere. I think I sent it to the group chat. But in the meantime, while that is coming up, because I was sitting on ready for that, I was going to talk about it, CTV. But let me see if I can find that story. Give me one sec, y'all. But this is how they crush the scent. This is exactly what they do. They come first, they come for the trans, and then they go for anybody else. Anybody else. See, y'all just wanted it to be the blacks and the trans. But see, your rights are being taken from you as well, too. You're going to lose health care in 2026, by the way, because this big ugly bill that was just passed, that will strip 16 million people of their health care coverage. Now, let me see if I can find this part for what they're really trying to do, because they're operating just like Adolf Hitler. Oh, boom, here we are. Let's go. The Trump regime is considering disarming transgender Americans. Now, the Nazis disarmed Jews, gays, and other minorities who were later unalived in the Holocaust. Very reminiscent of Germany in the 1930s, correct? Everything that they're doing They're governing the same way Adolf Hitler would. So if you think that you're going to stop trans people, stop us from defending ourselves, when black trans women, we are killed, unalive at an alarmingly high rate, and the stories never get fucking reported. Unless it's from someone like myself, someone like CTV, someone like Bub, someone like Deshaun, someone like the NABJ, the National Black Justice Coalition. Well, that's the National Black Journalists Association. Y'all know what the hell I meant. But yes, these stories never get reported in mainstream. They never get reported in mainstream. We have to go through our outlets. State-ran media news. It is their reality versus our truth, and we all know the truth. So to eradicate trans people, to eradicate and erase us, first they come for us. They and I had shout outs to Misha Robinson. I had my conversation with her, and we were talking about everything this regime is doing. And she said, first they start with the mattress on the bed, then they start pulling the sheets, and then they start pulling the cover off. They start with the trans people first, and then they go for any other marginalized group next. That's a great analogy. So everything that they're doing, I'm not surprised. But if you think you're going to stop me from defending myself, you got another thing coming. So Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, please come on and try to take whatever I have to defend myself. I'd love to see you try.
I think that this consideration is completely absurd and ridiculous when the reality is that we have more guns in American streets than we even do citizens at this goddamn point. So really, what is the point of putting a ban on guns that people are going to own, possess, and get a hold of regardless? And to Miss Stevie's point, yeah, they always legislate from the bottom up, and they really have to, because typically the most vulnerable are the people who have been slandered and othered and mythologized the most. So it's easier to politicize the issue and to legislate an issue by using the most vulnerable group first, and then it's a trickle up effect rather than a trickle down effect. Because to Ms. Stevie's point, they're already also having conversations around reversing gay marriage. This is why Rosie O'Donnell and a lot of queer people like Ellen DeGeneres, a lot of people fled America. They're over in Europe now. People have gotten the hell up out of here. A lot of the elite know what's coming. They're prepared for what's coming. They're moving the hell out of the way. They're getting their families out of the way. Deshaun, yes.
Look, they're creating a one world government already. Already the one world leaders are coming together, and Trump came together with them. So you had Ping, freaking what is his name?
Xi
Putin.
Jinping, Putin, what's the other one? Netanyahu, all of them, we knew they've been working together. And when Putin came in that house, came in the White House and bitch slapped Trump, that was the most amazing thing I ever saw. You better bend down to your daddy Vladdy. Bend
Oh
over,
God.
motherfucker, and take your panties off. And he showed you who was the boss. He said, bitch, you work for me. Putin made a fool out of you. And you did absolutely nothing. There was nothing you could do about it. But when you have all of these dictators coming together, that should tell you something. You're wanting to deploy troops in all of these blue cities. This is not about no fucking crime. There's no fucking crime. Crime has been down since the 1960s. This is about beating people into submission to distract, as Deshaun said, from the Epstein files. Your name is all up and through it. It is like a Jackie Collins book at this point. Your name is all through the Epstein files.
Erica says that we're about to be the United States of China.
And ni hao. Shishi. I learned that from PBS with that Asian cat. I forgot. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I forgot what it's called. But yes.
America is being depressing right now. It's depressing.
Mary.
It's what's going on in the country is so buck wild and disheartening that it almost like destroys my social battery entirely. Like I almost have nothing left when I'm done with the news and when I'm done with my algorithm. Like I have nothing left. Like, I ain't got nothing left for family, for friends, baby. I ain't got nothing left, bitch. Cooked, bitch. Cooked broccoli every day. Broccoli been done every single day. It is literally exhausting to be in America. America is officially the shithole country in question. And the fact that we ain't seen the worst of this shit yet, baby. This is just the foreplay. This is just the foreplay of it all. Like, wait until shit actually hits. Wait until the things that they're now just speculating about, the things that they're now just having conversations about, the things that they are galvanizing to create are actually created and actually in effect. We have everything from everybody's rights to fair and equal opportunity, to open qualified immunity for police, to open discrimination and racism, to people's medical insurance. I mean, we're going to have more FEMA camps on each block than we have churches when they're done with our asses.
Lord.
And the fact that there's all this conversation now even happening around the CDC. Oh yeah, y'all get prepared for another pandemic. And the fact that they're already defunding, dismantling, got weird ass people over the CDC. There won't be protection. And those wonderful vaccines that you all love so much won't be available to you. I was just watching the hearing today about the CDC and vaccines and the pandemic and the danger, that blah, blah. I can't even really talk about that shit on my YouTube channel.
But our Patreon.
Oh, this is going to be so bad. And you know, the gag about it is, I got a good thing going anecdotally. I got a man who sucks on my titties every night.
Oh my.
I got a man who rides my dick and puts me in doggy and just
Wow.
my head in between a washer and a dryer. I done carved out a nice little social media presence for myself. You know, I got a stable community. You know, I'm doing all right for myself in all of this.
Yes.
But this bubble is being threatened by the destruction of democracy and the destruction of our rights, and is a threat to our literal safety and quality of life. And so even when I go back into my little personal bubble where everything is fine at, it's hard to even really feel fine, because I don't know whether my fine is on borrowed time or not. You know, a part of me feels like, bitch, I'm getting ready for the purge. Like I'm getting ready for the WWE showdown of all fucking showdowns. And I know that America has been long overdue for a collapse, because based upon historical record, most nations would have already collapsed by now. So America actually outlived itself. It was supposed to die at 75. This bitch almost 100 years old. I mean, I'm just speaking metaphorically speaking. We were supposed to be dead a long time ago. So we've been long overdue for a social collapse. It is pretty eerie to just really internalize that and imagine that we're all bearing witness to the beginning of the end. Like that this is the beginning of the end. You know, I don't want to be getting fucked with America on my mind. I don't. I don't want to have my niggas' feet pointed to the ceiling thinking about fucking America. No pun intended.
Oh God.
This thing is really, this is the things in America are really fucking with me. They're really fucking with my vibe. Because it's so hard to just, how can you unplug from something that's a part of your livelihood? Everything going on is a part of our livelihood. Everything, and if it's not a part of your direct livelihood, it's a part of the livelihood of the people who you love and are in direct community too. So it's a heart matter no matter what. We're at the 1.5 hour mark. I don't want to make this video infinitely long. Final words, final sentiments, final warrior cry from the panelists.
I'm gonna go last.
Deshaun.
Yeah. Listen, this is the whole idea to get people back to this old thinking from 1984 of this disease. Oh yeah, let me tell you something else. Wasn't there reports of they were trying to remove PrEP too?
I wouldn't be surprised. They're trying
because
to
I think it was Kennedy that said that.
Who?
I think it was what is his name? Kennedy something, where where he had that funny voice like this.
Oh, Junior. Mm.
Yeah, I think he was trying to remove that. See, that's the problem. And you have people that are men that don't care who they're having sex with, and you know that the women are going to get it. And guess what? Women are not going to get the PrEP. Not just gay people, but women too. Just letting you know that.
JFK, that nigga should sell Bibles. He'll make a killing.
I want y'all to understand the reason why people at the top and people who are rich and people who are in positions of power vote against their own interests is because identity politics are for poor people, not rich people. Those people will vote against their own interests because, for one, they can survive all the shit that they're voting against based upon their wealth and their access. Rich and wealthy people identify solely with one thing, being wealthy. They don't identify as black. They don't identify as woman. They don't identify as gay, as queer. That's why y'all seeing so many sellouts from so many different people. The closer you are to power, the more you can transcend the politics of it all. Identity politics are for poor people, or for disenfranchised people. Those sadistic, twisted, out of touch motherfuckers identify solely with the dollar, and if they just so happen to have the complexion for the protection. And they'll run right to them polls and vote away their health care, vote away safety for their neighbors, for their employees, vote against the A, B, the C, and the D, and the motherfucking G. I kind of agree with what Ari says. It must happen in order for things to start over. It has to fall first. I'm not above the collapse of the system. It ain't served the people at the bottom any fucking way. So yeah, it does need to come down. My God, I just would have preferred to feel a bit more ready than this. I mean, I'm not sure I would have bothered carving out my little piece of heaven if I knew we was going straight to hell. I mean, I'm putting all that work for nothing, bitch. I mean, I just would have laid down, honey, and just went willfully if it was going to come down to this.
Well, you
Girl,
know,
you created some beautiful memories for motherfuckers to see and live until the end.
Well, I mean, Donald Trump is deteriorating anyways. You already see what's happening to his hand and his health and everything else. He's not listening to the doctors, and also the freaking sidekicks are saying that in the near future he's not going to live for 2 years or a year, probably a year. And then Melania Trump has to do something about it, and they're not going to tell you if he is sick or anything like that. So
No. Mm-mm. Absolutely not. I don't trust this administration No, it's not an administration. It's fascism. Let's just call it what it is. It's a autocracy because they are governing the same way that Xi Jinping, Adolf Hitler, Mussolini would govern. This is dictatorship. This is an autocracy. This is authoritarianism. So they're not going to tell you. But I'm waiting for that fucker to croak, though. I mean, I went and looked at his cankles, and they were
Oh
swelled
God.
up. All of the McDonald's, sitting up there eating all of that McDonald's, that will do that to you. Your hands, you're
Ankle top of
choosing
it.
the incorrect shade of makeup. I mean, like I said, I got an hourglass, so I'm just turning that thing, turning and turning, waiting for this fucker to croak.
Oh.
Now he becoming an embalmed corpse in real time, girl,
I know.
with a
It's
makeup
not looking
job
good.
done by Sister McScary Wig. Lord, her foundations.
Oh
What's so
gosh.
funny is I'm not, I'm a God man. I'm a, I'm a Christian witch, a Christian mystic, and everything. I have very deep, deep spiritual roots and practices and disciplines. But I don't know. Like, I don't know what y'all be meaning when y'all be inserting God. I know what the fuck I mean when I be talking contextually and be applying God wherever I apply God. But sometimes I feel kind of triggered when y'all throw God in it, because in what way are y'all talking about God? Because let's talk about God. We had a God when we had the transatlantic slave trade. We had a God during World War One, Two, and the pending three, Vietnam. We have entire third world countries that are equivalent to the material hell, and there's a God. What makes? How do you know that it's not in God's will for America to go up in flames?
Mm. And the system has to be torn down. It has to be broken down. 400 years of oppression. You don't think black people are going to forget that shit? The system has to be broken down. And we need a new start because this ain't it. And Josh, as far as wishing death, I wish death on that motherfucker all I want to. Is as much as he's been in office, the things that he has said, the things that he has done, there is nothing godly about him at all. Not one single bit. This man has the nerve and audacity to question whether or not he's going to heaven or hell. And we know that there is no godly bone in Donald Trump's body. That is a whole demon right there. Everything that he's doing, ripping people apart from their families, taking away a woman's autonomy, wanting to take away protections from LGBT people. There's nothing godly about that. A 34-time convicted felon, 25 women essayed, and it's more coming out day by day. He's in the Epstein files. There's nothing godly about him. So I have every right to say what I'm saying, and I'm not the only person that's thinking that. We're waiting for this fucker to croak and kick the bucket, and I'm going to dance on his grave in my red bottoms.
And let's be honest,
Ooh,
Trump
wow.
is closer to death than he is to life. I mean, he's an, 87, 88-year-old reprobate. There's nothing at this point but for him to croak. And yes, we should wish whatever is necessary on wicked people. The same way that y'all be wishing for the eradication of cancer and the eradication of gun violence and the eradication of sexual assault, things that are purely and inherently evil and wicked. Yeah, we should wish upon a star whatever is necessary to get rid of the cancers in our world, including the cancers and poisons that personify themselves through wicked ass human beings. Because just like all skin folk ain't kinfolk, all human folk ain't kinfolk either. Some of these motherfuckers definitely never drank milk from their mother's titties. You can tell the people who drunk milk from a cow's breast. Trump definitely was raised on skim milk. But we do have a bigger issue than just Trump. Trump is a incompetent piece of a shit dumbass who was just being weaponized because his celebrity was able to develop a massive following. He's just a mascot and a puppet for a larger, more insidious system that plans on living on long after Trump is gone. Trump is not the mastermind, and Trump is not even the point. Trump is just the visible indicator within the cells that something is motherfucking wrong. But Trump is a part of a larger, destructive, evil that is seeping and evolving and growing in power. And they're already planning for Trump's end. This was never about getting Trump in. This was about getting their system in the door. Trump is just the bull. He's just the war bull. He's just the mascot. He's just the hammer that they're using to get in. So what we're going to do about that, I don't know. They've already said that most of the things that they're doing are going to affect America for decades to come. The damage that's being done it's not irreparable, but baby, it has quite a bit of a lifeline. And any other oppositional administration who gets into office are going to be spending their entire time in office slowly undoing all of the damage that's been done by this one administration. It's almost kind of shocking that it only took 6 months to give America a facelift to begin with. Like, this is one hell of a BBL. All of the civil rights activism, everything that our ancestors and our allies, everything that has been done, every administration that added something good to the system, it only took 6 fucking months to erase it. That really goes also to show you how fragile our system is. How thin, how sparse, how weak, and just how much of a social construct it actually is.
True.
But we got to close out, you guys. Bubs, anything you want to say? We haul ass up out of here.
I'm the last one?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep it short because I'm pretty sure y'all gonna be hearing a lot of me tomorrow. Can I talk about that? Is that okay?
Sure. Anything
CTV.
I'll talk about what?
Deshaun. Need some ice?
Yes.
Girl. Baby. I'm about to call your ass motherfucking what's his name? Al Green and shit. Rub down with some hot oils, babe, or something. But no, as far as the project, can I talk about that real quick?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
cool? Oh yes. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just excited because it's finally done. For those of you who have been following me for a while and see me on this platform, I've talked about a project that I've been working on entitled Blame It on the Dress. It is my dark, very raw, jarring, but transformative interpretation on the book entitled Blame It on the Dress, The Manufacturing of Black Homophobia and Performative Masculinity by J. Charles, aka the Black Anarchist Podcast. And I'm happy to announce that tomorrow, chapter 1 will be premiering right here in the King's house. Okay? I believe it's going to be like around maybe 7:38. I don't know. We still got to work that out. But we're going to be showcase 7?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're going to be showcasing or premiering the first chapter. Hopefully you guys like it. I already got the peer review from CTV. And baby, it's something. According to him, it's this, and I appreciate it. And hopefully y'all will rock with it afterwards. We will also be having like a little small interview with the author of the book, J. Charles, again, the Black Anarchist Podcast, to get more into it. And I'm excited for y'all to come through and see it. So yes, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for supporting me and helping me to get to 1K. Thank you so much. And yeah, I'm ready to have deeper conversations. This was just a taste. You know what's crazy? Before we started this live, girl, this motherfucker gonna sit here and tell me, girl, you know you gonna be talking majority of the time. And I told her ass, and look what happened. We gotta get us something.
I'm always activated.
I know, especially with this, but I love it. I love being over here. I love it. I just love it. But yes, I appreciate y'all. If y'all feel like following me, you can follow me on my channel. Again, Bubs the God. I'm everywhere on social media. Yes, Style by Stevie. Make sure y'all subscribe to her as well. She interviewed one of my favorite male vocalists of all time, B Slade, which was absolutely dope, and he dropped a lot of gems too. So make sure that y'all subscribe to her, as well as Deshaun. Especially if you got a song and you want to know if God talking to you in this song, send it to Deshaun and he will run it back to you and listen to it in reverse, and he will tell you shit, girl. The Mega Millions is in there somewhere for you, girl. The next job promotion is in there for you, bitch. Believe in yourself, okay? But I'm done. I'm done.
Well, you.
Oh my God. It's just a hobby, y'all. Don't even pay no attention. Don't.
That's gonna. Why she gonna listen to some shit gonna save all of our damn lives, bitch. No shade. We gonna need your ass. That's a power and a gift, bitch. We need some help from the gate or something.
No. The real reason why is because I heard this music since I was a kid, and it freaking scared me. And I'm like, but then it draws you in. I don't know what it is. All it was a tape cassette. That's all it took. You know how the B track and the 8 track, you know, where the where you hear, this was a gospel track. And I was listening to gospel, and then I heard something from side B, and it sounded like it was reverse music, but I'm like, is that the spirits or something like that? What's coming out of here? Because you can hear the sound effects, like I'm hearing the lead singer like screaming like woo, and then the choir and all that other stuff, and then it reversed right back to forwards. I'm like, oh my God. When I was a kid, I was like, I almost had nightmares. It was crazy. It was just freaking haunting. But then I grew out of it, and I'm like kind of intrigued by it. So I just decided, let me just do Michael, Aaliyah, all of them, all the tracks. And I'm like, that's how I just started doing that. So, and I was like, okay, so now that I know about the sound, what about the video? And the first time I ever did this was back in 2011, and now I can reverse videos now, and you can see their hair and everything else, their motion, and how everything's flying right back into. It's crazy.
Oh, so you're into backmasking? That's interesting. That's amazing. Yeah, that's the reversal. That's interesting. Anybody want to throw the blue detector some Powerball numbers?
Deshaun. 15, 30, 37, 38, 45, 47. That's mine for you.
I'm gonna say 3. 3's my number.
Is it only a single digit for the Powerball?
I think they have like one specific number that pops up that's like an individual number, but it's more than just one number.
Okay. Well, the blue directive. If you hit, bitch, you know that you gotta split that 4 ways. You gotta split that 4-5 different ways, bro. We love you guys. Y'all subscribe to everybody. This was an amazing discussion. Tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm gonna set the watch page up so you guys be tuned in tomorrow for Above exclusive.
Yes. Thank you.
We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Good night.